Train the muscles, not the joints.
Okay, today I'm doing a workout, but I'll just film the chest portion of this workout just for brevity reasons, you know, making the videos not quite too long. But don't worry, I'm going to be doing videos on different body parts from time to time, so it's not just going to be just chest workouts. But yeah, sometimes I find with the leg workouts, just so you know, I'm so out of breath in between sets that speaking between them becomes a little bit of a challenge. So sometimes, also the trolls, you know, because the way I squat and stuff, they don't like it because I don't go as far down as maybe they see fit. So sometimes I find the video starts to escalate into just a horde of trolls, right? So what's the point? So sometimes that's why you see me do some similar body parts from time to time. But yeah, I'm just moderating the troll activity a little bit. But yeah, today I'm going to do some inclines on here to start my workout, and we'll see how I feel. And like I said, a lot of times I'll have an idea of what I want to do, but the feelings in the body, you know, the sensations are going to tell me how to adjust. So sometimes that will be with angle of attack. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm feeling my delts more on this movement. Maybe I want to feel my chest more. Or maybe sometimes it's an adjustment of technique, or maybe it's an adjustment of angle on the bench. As a general rule, a steeper angle will involve more delts, and a shallower angle will involve more chest, right? So, but that's just a general rule. It doesn't mean that it always applies in all circumstances, because sometimes I find doing a really steep incline is a great way to get some delt work along with a bit of upper chest work. So, you know, you gotta always go on what you're feeling. If you're feeling it in a certain area and that's what you want to hit, well, then you're doing it right, or maybe you're moving in the right direction. But if you're not accessing the muscles you want to hit, then yeah, some changes might be in store for you. And the other confusing thing about it is sometimes it changes. Sometimes you'll do one angle or one type of technique and it works great for a period of time. And then all of a sudden it's like the body just needs something different, right? So really what we're doing on this channel, and what I'm trying to, you know, at least instill in you, is experiencing and bringing your experience deeper in that mind-muscle connection along with the body connection, so that way you can make these decisions for yourself rather than following some guy in the internet. I almost called the internet the idiot. Isn't that weird? But anyway, following some guy on the internet telling you what to do. But you know what? I love the internet. I mean, I love YouTube. I love Instagram, like all this stuff. You learn a lot of things. But in the end, information without context or without experience, it can sometimes work against you. So you want to make sure that that experience is always deepening. So yeah, here we go. I'm just going to warm up with some really light stuff here. Just 30-pound dumbbells to warm up. Just get the crinks and cracks out, right? I can feel my front delt is a little tight today. Not in a bad way, but just the delt is tight. So I just know that sometimes if I feel a little bit of tightness, sometimes it's a muscle thing, or sometimes just my shoulder joint has moved around a little bit because the dislocation thing. So sometimes when that happens, I just have to make sure that I adjust it around and just make sure that it's ready for whatever's to come. So that's one of the ways I used the force to manage the forces. I'm like a natural bodybuilding Jedi. That's pretty much the truth of it. Look at that, hey? I could like throw Yoda right through the ceiling. Hey? Plant his ass on one of these dumbbells, just push him right through. So that's starting to feel good now, see? Everything's starting to, you can feel like the tightness is dissipating. The groove feels good. And Yoda has smashed his head right through the ceiling. That's the most important part. Now sometimes I'll take a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, watch the dragonflies land on my car outside, and yeah, just feel the force, feel the force flowing through me. And as I sit here and feel like the force is moving through me, I let my breath return back to normal a bit, and then I'll do another warm-up set, and then start to pyramid up in the weight. I may stay at 100-pound dumbbells. I might go heavier. We'll see what happens. So All right. So the next set will be 70-pound dumbbells. I just started with the 30-pounders there, just easy. I'll do a 70-pound set. I'm not taking the set to failure, but I'm getting a good burn in there just to make sure that I'm stimulating a lot of blood flow. And just for the record, burn and blood flow is only good for muscles. If it's happening in another part of your body, you might want to go get that checked out. So just a fit tip right there for you, okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, that feels good. Easy. Just pressing Yoda's ass, eh? Press it right to the ceiling. Total Jedi. Just a Jedi moment right here. See how I rest at the bottom sometimes? I'm not resting, like I could go lower, but I'm keeping tension on the muscles. So that my body knows to keep protecting the joint, right? You don't want to relax at the bottom. Not with medium weights anyway. With super light, you might be able to get away with it, but medium weights and above, you want to always keep that muscle tension on the exercise. Good. I only drooled a little bit. That's good. So the funny thing is, a lot of people misunderstand what I'm doing. But the truth is, when I'm coming up with the dumbbells, I find there's a certain point to where when I come up, the tension stays on the chest. But then when I'm from here to here, it just diminishes. It seems to be like a lot of energy being used on stabilizing my rotator cuff and using the delts. And then when I come to here, but then I come lower, just a little bit lower, there's this a little bit of a hinge around the shoulder, and that starts to include a lot of my front delts. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to just keep that constant tension just on the chest as much as I can. And I'm not worried about if it's a perfect all lockout contraction rep or perfect stretch. I'm just trying to get the fatigue centralized in the muscle I want to hit, which is the chest. So that's why sometimes, you'll see different technique with different people, and they might be all doing the same thing. They might be doing the same thing I'm doing, but the technique they're using based on their body dimensions and proportions and injury history might be perfectly hitting their chest the way they want. So that's really what I go on, right? Is efficiently using the energy I have. And that's the thing that people forget. This is probably one of the most profound things I'll say in this video. I know there's usually a lot of profound things, but this is one of the most profound things, okay? Is that when you efficiently use the energy that you have to hitting the certain muscle, you want to centralize that on that muscle or on that part of the movement which attributes itself or contributes to the most amount of muscle mass, then you get a lot more gains. But if you just splatter the energy in every direction, like yanking on tendons and just getting fatigue for the sake of fatigue, you're not necessarily getting the muscle mass gains. So I did this with multiple clients. I had so many clients come to me when I was personal training, and they were just yanking the joints in different directions, but not really looking at where the forces are going. So yeah, they'd be getting fatigue, and yes, they were getting some results, but a lot of times it wasn't in the area that they wanted. They were getting them just maybe in the arms or in the shoulders a bit, but they weren't able to really get that chest or the back to develop. They weren't getting the bodybuilding type look because they weren't a maestro. I've said this before, a maestro of muscular forces. MMF. Maestro of muscular forces. That's what I'm going to talk about. So now I'm going to do a heavy set. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'll do a heavy set, and then I'll probably go back down. I'm just doing this because I haven't done this for a while, so I'm just going to do this for fun and see what we got going on here. Okay? So just making sure all the muscle mass is ready here. Hey, you guys all ready? Are you all ready in there? Hey, how about here? Huh? I think it's ready. Okay. 120, okay? 120. you can see, they're big dumbbells, but they almost meet in the middle when I'm pressing up. So my range of motion is perfectly attuned to really heavy weight. That's really my point. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so one thing you have to understand is that this is all about forces. This is all about forces. So the more in tune you are to forces and how they play out in your muscles, the more effective you'll be able to be when you train. So like I said before, you'll also be in tune with what to watch out for, or what type of sensations precede issues. And that's probably the most important thing to become aware of at some point, right? So yeah, just keep drilling your awareness into your exercises, no matter what type of form you use or whatever. Just I really want to implore you to really just concentrate on what's happening and experience it. You know, no matter how alive you are, or how aware you are, or how unaware you are, but just keep working on that. That's the most important muscle to build. And that felt good. Right in the upper chest, it was good. So, yeah, sometimes you'll find that you'll use a certain technique and then you'll adjust the middle of your set because you start to feel it in certain ways. So you're basically constantly tuning the exercise. So there's nothing wrong with that. Not every exercise or every rep has to look the same. It could be something that you adjust as you go, as you become aware of things that are happening. So yeah, don't be a robot, you know? Don't be an AI idiot or an A idiot, huh? You're not just, you think for yourself based on experiences and the force. Mountain. I got one more set. So yeah, remember, every rep is an experience. You really look at it that way. You're here to experience more deeply, and by doing so you accidentally get results, you know, because as your experiences deepen, your wisdom deepens, and as your wisdom deepens, then you will know which experiences lead to what result. So that's really, really profound, but really kind of center back into that with every repetition, with every single exercise, you know, because there's this challenge right now where people, they almost have this momentum of the mind where they have this goal in mind, and then you're taught visualizations by Arnold Schwarzenegger and all this stuff, all this bullshit, right? Because the visualization is only good to get you in the gym, but once you're in the gym, you got to be there in the moment, right? Like a samurai doesn't visualize victory. If a sword is coming towards him, he's blocking. He's right there in the moment to know what to do with these swords in order for him to achieve victory. He has the goal of victory in his mind, but he's not visualizing this like an idiot while swords are flying at him. He's right there in the moment with the people that are before him, right? Or the enemies. So it's the same thing with your exercise. You want to be out of the mind and right here, right now. You don't want to be thinking and stuff. It's just like the guys that are always on TikTok or messaging back and forth in between their sets. That's fine, but when you're doing your exercise, you get off or out of that conversation and back into the exercise. That's going to protect you way more than any sort of blanket information, because you're going to be able to kind of bob and weave with the forces. Because remember, this is Jedi shit, right? This is Jedi shit. All right, last set here. Now, one last thing I want to talk to you about, one last concept, okay? Okay? One last concept. It's fucking weird sitting like this, but anyway. What I'm going to say is that sometimes you may also notice that it's not a bad idea that after your warm-ups and you start working with your normal weight, to be a bit conservative on the range of motion, right? Let the body warm up, let it get used to that weight. And then by the time the third or fourth set rolls around, you may notice that you can go a little bit deeper in your range of motion and it feels fine. So that's another thing to bear in mind, like, because again, there's this either or scenario that go on with people where it's like full range or nothing, like you say. But what if it's easing yourself into certain ranges as well, right? So you may adjust as you go, like I said, but you may also notice that, hey, now that I'm warmed up, it actually feels more pleasant to just go a little bit deeper or not, right? It's up to you. But that happens to me a lot too. And usually the first set of squats or the first set of bench, a lot of times I'll be using less of a range of motion than I may be using later on in the workout. That is actually a common thing that I do, because using a certain range of motion allows my body to acclimate to that weight and then adjust accordingly. And then from there, I may go a little bit deeper. Not much, but maybe a little bit, as you saw in this last set. So anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you tune into the Patreon podcast if you haven't so far. It's got some really profound stuff, especially to you guys out there that, well, let's just say, you want to be men or mountains, and you want to have some good old man conversations, you know what I'm saying? That's on the Patreon podcast, or the link is in the description. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.